Tonight on Connecticut's news station, the owner of 2 German Shepherds speaking out after her dogs were shot and killed.
The murder, skinning, and beheading has taken a very large emotional toll on our family.
Now the suspect claiming it was all a misunderstanding.
And school lunches free for all.
I love that because I won't really have to pay out my savings then.
Local students shared their excitement for the program's return.
Plus, cannabis convictions, the calls at the Capitol for a change to weed-related sentences as another business opens up in Hartford.
Near 50 degrees tomorrow, but then we're on the weather watch for a winter storm. Snow, sleet, rain, we'll time it out for you coming up.
And embracing inclusivity on the slopes, how one program is working to expand access to skiers of all abilities.
Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us here on the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Ben Goldman.
And I'm Jen Bernstein. We begin with the emotional and disturbing tale of 2 beloved Connecticut pets who were killed by a hunter.
Today, that hunter was in court to tell his side of the story, hoping to avoid criminal charges which have not yet been filed in the case. Fox 61's Matt Caron spent the day in Ridgefield, where this bizarre incident began.
Well, it's somewhere in these remote woods off Topcrest Lane where 2 10-year-old German Shepherds, Simo and Lieben, spent their final moments alive. Now a heartbroken family is fighting for justice, and a warning that some of the details of this story are disturbing. From the desolate woods of Ridgefield to a packed Danbury courthouse.
Please know that it was never my intent that morning to harm the victim's pets.
Was it a case of an unsuspecting hunter in fear for his safety?
Our family spent every waking moment trying to find them.
Or a cold-hearted animal killer who tried to cover up a crime? November 18th, the dynamic dog duo of Simo and Lieben, 10-year-old German Shepherds, joined at the hip, escaped the confines of their fenced-in yard, and started chasing wildlife through the woods, crossing paths with 62-year-old Mike Konchak of New York, who was allegedly illegally hunting on private land.
Based on their physical appearance and their pursuit of 2 deer that morning, as well as lack of collars or identifying tags, I made a reasonable judgment call based on these observations and believed what I saw were wild coyotes.
But Konchak didn't just shoot Simo and Lieben. He's accused of beheading and skinning them.
He would have noticed that the male dog had been neutered, and he would have noticed that the female dog had a large hysterectomy scar, which would show anyone who knows anything about wildlife or has ever owned a pet that these weren't coyotes.
Erin Caviola and her family, with the help of neighbors and friends, spent months trying to find their lost pets until a stranger directed them to photos Konchak allegedly shared of the dead dogs.
We live with the emotional pain as we think about what they felt in their final moments.
Konchak, an Air Force veteran with no previous criminal history, applied for accelerated rehabilitation to avoid criminal charges, but the judge ruled the crime was too serious.
Based upon that, I am going to deny the application.
Outside the courthouse.
It does not give us complete closure. We still do not have our dogs' heads.
We also learned today that Konchak allegedly took the dogs' remains to a taxidermy, either to have them stuffed or to preserve their furs as a rug. A petition has so far gained more than 55,000 signatures to gain justice all the way from Connecticut to Japan. Konchak will be back in court on April 12th. Reporting in Ridgefield, Matt Caron, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Definitely a tough story, Matt. Thank you. New at 6, we now know the identity of the CCSU student who was found unresponsive in a dorm over the weekend and later died. The university identifying the student as 21-year-old Sardina Sarah Redman. She was found Sunday morning in James Hall. Redman was a senior at the school from Burlington studying biomolecular science. A cause of death has not been released as of tonight. The school will hold a moment of silence this Friday at 10 a.m.
Pushing for a second chance. While advocates gathered at the Capitol to push for further changes to Connecticut's new recreational cannabis industry, one cannabis company is growing its footprint in the state and opening the first adult use shop in the capital city. Fox 61's Samaya Hernandez is live outside of Curaleaf to explain. Samaya.
Yeah, Jen, there wasn't a massive turnout here for Hartford's first recreational marijuana dispensary because it wasn't even allowed to advertise until it got the license to open to do this. There will be a party on Friday. We'll talk more about that later on. But as they celebrate their opening day here for recreational patients, over at the Capitol, advocates gathered to try to be a voice for people still behind bars for cannabis-related convictions.
It's one of the hardest things you can imagine talking about publicly, and here I am today.
Luis Vega was previously arrested and convicted for cultivation and sale of cannabis. Now he's a social equity operator at a Shelton hemp farm.
And I can't hire people that were in the exact same position that I was. This bill will actually allow me to onboard individuals that have cannabis experience through the legacy market and that have been previously convicted and served time.
Connecticut's recreational marijuana market opened in January, garnering $2 million in its first week alone. The state is slated to make $5 billion in the first 10 years. In January, Governor Ned Lamont announced Connecticut would erase cannabis-related convictions in more than 40,000 cases. But advocates say that people behind bars deserve a second chance when others are profiting from the industry.
Though this is true, we must now fight still the war on drugs.
We have to do what is humane, what is just, and what is equitable.
The legislature's powerful Judiciary Committee taking up House Bill 8767, a bill that would allow Vega to hire people with experience, even if that experience was illegal at the time. It would also reconsider sentences for people behind bars for marijuana activity and drop pending prosecutions. At the same time, advocates sought to be a voice for those behind bars. Curaleaf celebrated the opening of Hartford's first adult-use facility with Connecticut-grown cannabis.
It feels pretty huge. It's exciting to be able to open our doors to the public. You know, being able to actually let everybody on our sales floor and see what we have to offer here has been really great.
And they are planning to celebrate their opening on Friday, so they are spreading the word, and they hope to have more of a turnout here today. They've seen mostly medical patients, but some recreational patients. We're live in Hartford. Samaya Hernandez, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Samaya, thank you. Let's turn to the weather now. A beautiful winter scene in Beacon Falls this morning. Sky 61 capturing this video of what the snowstorm left in its trail.
Yeah, the sun with the snow today was pretty stunning, and we could actually see more snow later this week. And that's why we are in a weather alert right now. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us.
Yeah, winter storm for Friday night into Saturday morning. So we're issuing a weather watch alert just in advance of that, so you can kind of plan, all right, what am I doing Friday night? Maybe I don't want to be out driving. But before we get to that, we want to talk about what's going on right now, because there is a little bit of a sneak peek or a little bit of a preview out there, with some areas reporting what looks kind of like snow pellets. So not really hail, but not snow, kind of something in the middle if you were to combine them. We're seeing that right now from Brantford and Guilford all the way up through Killingworth, East Haddam and Colchester, all the way into Windham County as well. So Putnam and Hampton seeing that, and even along the immediate shoreline where temperatures are well above freezing, we're seeing some of that reaching the ground as well. Give it another half an hour or so, and this will be out of here. We will see rain fill back in again as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. And after a wet start to the day, it will be a warm finish tomorrow afternoon with highs near 50. Right now, though, we are well above freezing, which is good news because we've got that mix going on out there right now, but we don't expect it to impact the road conditions. So overnight temps dip a little bit, then they kind of hold steady or even climb. So we're beginning the day tomorrow with some wet weather. Grab the umbrella on your way out the door, but we'll see sunshine as we head through the afternoon. Highs near 50 degrees. Kind of feeling like, all right, winter's over, right? But then nope. We've got another winter storm on the way again for Friday night into Saturday morning. We'll step you through it full forecast coming up in just a bit.
Okay, Rachel, thank you very much. A bus driver is recovering tonight after police say his bus and a semi-truck collided early this morning. Police saying the crash happened at the intersection of Albany Avenue and King Philip Drive around 5 a.m. Officers say when first responders arrived, they found the bus driver trapped in his seat with his legs pinned in the damage. He was taken to the hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. No other injuries were reported. And in Westport, a car drove into Staples High School this morning, causing a gas leak. Officials say a woman accidentally drove into the building and was not injured. The building was immediately evacuated as fire crews discovered gas leaking from the classroom kitchen. The gas was quickly shut off and multiple fans were used to ventilate the building.
Well, today schools across the state are celebrating as free lunches for all K through 12 students are being served once again. Fox 61's political reporter Emma Wolfhorst was at one school today. She joins us now in studio. Emma, what did students have to say today?
Well, Ben, there was definitely a real air of excitement this afternoon. School administrators treating this like a special party. Students I spoke with are so happy to have this program back, but meals are only free now through the end of this school year, something lawmakers are now trying to extend.
It is the first day back to free lunches for the kids.
At Center School in East Hampton, students are going bananas for free school lunches.
I'm excited.
These free meals started with the onset of COVID-19, made possible with federal pandemic-era funding.
We had a few kids who were very nervous that they weren't going to get to eat.
The food funding ran out late last year. In February, the General Assembly passed emergency legislation providing $60 million to keep the program going through the end of this school year. But with the program already expired, schools had to go back to paid lunches for nearly 3 months.
We had 2 kids in this school crying
Yes.
because they knew that their parents couldn't afford to get lunch, but they were hungry.
Many students here couldn't wait for the free meals to return.
I love that because I won't really have to pay out my savings then. Having school lunch free is wonderful.
Hoping to prevent another funding gap, some state legislators pushing for a bill this session to permanently fund free school lunches, and these students are on board.
I think that's great. That's wonderful, and they should keep doing it. It wouldn't be fair for kids to just start paying and paying. That means more is saving up for college or other things you need in life.
And that permanent funding legislation approved by the Children's Committee yesterday, it now advances to appropriations. Ben.
Thank you. A reminder tonight for families who use Operation Fuel to help with heating bills in the winter. The nonprofit that provides energy and utility assistance is pausing its program this month. In the meantime, there is still help available. You can still apply for the CT Energy Assistance Program by contacting your local community action agency. Operation Fuel will resume its energy assistance program April 3rd, but the energy grants will be reduced from $1,000 per household down to $500.
Tens of millions of families across the country are set to see a reduction in their food stamp benefits starting this month. This comes as a federal pandemic policy that boosted benefits has now expired. That boost allowed all SNAP recipients to get the maximum monthly benefit regardless of income. Now benefits will now return to their usual levels. For the average SNAP recipient, this change will mean about $90 less per month. If you need additional help, you can find local food pantries and community meal sites near you by calling 211.